The 60s, what a time to be alive. It was Kennedy's America, and we were fit and healthy. Obesity was just 13%. 60 years later, half the country's fat, sick, sad, and lonely. Our economy modernized, and workers sit inside all day in front of screens. Without sunlight and movement, we became depressed, so we ate our feelings. The more we ate, the more companies injected our food with addictive chemicals, which made us eat more. And our poor gut health impacted our mental health. As our bodies and minds deteriorated, doctors prescribed us pills. So the sicker we got, the richer the food and drug industries got. Insurance companies grew bigger, and so did our government debt. Our children look like sumo wrestlers, and the Army can't recruit because no one can pass the cardio and push-up test. Suicide rates and drug overdoses have hit all-time highs. Congratulations, America. We're the sickest developed country on earth. People are happier, skinnier, and live longer in Panama, a country we're about to invade. So they'll soon be as fat and sick as we are. When we were skinny and healthy in the 60s, we didn't have Diet Coke, low-fat yogurt, and sugar-free snacks. They didn't even exercise in the 60s. Women weren't in the gym, and guys just played sports. Hippies threw frisbees. Have you ever seen a fat hippie? The average woman in 1960 weighed 140 pounds. Today, she weighs 170. The average man in 1960 weighed 166. And now the average guy's about 200. American men and women have added an average of 30 pounds. And all we do all day is sit. No wonder everything aches. And some of it's our fault, but not all of it. Finally, a Kennedy comes back to Washington who wants to change that and make America healthy again. RFK Jr., Trump's nominee for Health and Human Services, came to the Capitol for a hearing like a hero. When he sat down, his opening statement was sweet and simple.
President Trump has promised to restore America's global strength and to restore the American dream, but he understands how we can't be a strong nation when our people are so sick. A healthy person has 1,000 dreams. A sick person has only one, of the Make America Healthy Again movement. This movement, led largely by Maha moms from every state, you can see many of them behind us today, and in the hallways and in the lobbies, is one of the most transcendent and powerful movements I've ever seen. I will do everything in my power to put the health of Americans back on track.
He also promised he's not changing the menu at Mickey D's.
I don't want to take food away from anybody. If you like a cheeseburger, a McDonald's cheeseburger, a Diet Coke, which my boss loves, and you should be able to get them. If you want to eat Hostess Twinkies, you should be able to do that. But you should know what the impacts are on your family and on your health.
RFK is like a public service announcement. It's like what we did with cigarettes. No one banned smoking. They just educated you on what it does to you. And funny enough, the same companies that put addictive chemical additives into cigarettes also put it into food. Americans should have the healthiest food, the most transparent industries, and the safest pharmaceuticals. And no one should lie to us about the science, for our sake and for the sake of our children. This isn't a partisan issue, but today in Washington, it was.
I guess my question to you is, if it really is fundamental to what you believe, how do you live with that? How do you address those issues as you're moving forward?
Do you want me to
knowing
answer
that
the
it's going to harm
question,
Americans? Yeah.
You want me to answer the question?
No, I'm asking you.
Okay. President Trump has asked me to end the chronic disease epidemic and make America healthy again. All of those are moving deck chairs around on the Titanic. Our ship is sinking. Our 60% increase in Medicaid over the past 4 years is the biggest budget line now, and it's growing faster than any other. And no other nation in the world has what we have here.
The same politicians who oversaw the explosion of obesity and chronic diseases, who never held hearings on clean eating, corruption, or side effects, are yelling at the one guy whose mission in life is health, who's 71 and can do more pull-ups than Democrats on the committee combined. The whole system is upside down when Liz Warren is defending Big Pharma.
I'm asking you to commit right now that you will not take a financial stake in every one of those lawsuits so that what you do as secretary will also benefit you financially down the line.
I'll comply with all the ethical guidelines.
That's not the question. You and I, you have said
You're asking me, Senator, you're asking me not to serve vaccine pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, you are. That's exactly what you're doing.
No.
RFK Jr. spent his whole life suing industry on behalf of the little guy. And the Democrats, who just lost an election because they forgot about the little guy, are demanding Bobby Kennedy stop fighting for the little guy. Everybody in Washington has conflicts of interest, but Liz Warren, of all people, has taken over $1 million from healthcare and pharmaceutical interests. The ranking Democrat on the committee, Ron Wyden, he's taken over $1 million from him too. At one point, Liz Warren declares she's the only one who can take money from Big Pharma.
You're not going to take money from drug companies in any way, shape, or form.
Who? Me?
Yes, you.
Oh, yeah, I'm happy to commit to that.
Okay, good. That's what I figured. I said it's an easy question to start with. And I think you're right on this.
I don't think any of them want to give me money, by the way.
Democrats are attacking a Democrat on behalf of drug companies. Bernie Sanders, Mr. Vermont, whose constituents love hiking, yoga, and organic cheese, made a fool of himself.
They are selling what's called onesies. These are little things, clothing for babies. One of them is titled Unfaxed, Unafraid. Your organization is making money selling a child's product to parents for $26, which casts fundamental doubt on the usefulness of vaccines. Are you supportive of these onesies?
I'm supportive of vaccines.
Are you supportive of this clothing, which is militantly anti-vaccine?
I am supportive of vaccines. I will. I want good science.
If Democrats cared so much about everybody being vaccinated, they wouldn't have let 10 million unvaxxed third world migrants into the country. None of these Biden migrants had the COVID vax. You think they had the measles vax too? You think these Venezuelans who trekked through the Darien Gap into Texas all had their polio vaccine? Bernie kept trying to nail Bobby, but he kept getting outfoxed.
Is healthcare a human right?
In the way that free speech is a human right,
Yeah.
I would say it's different because if with free speech doesn't cost anybody anything, but in healthcare, if you smoke cigarettes for 20 years and you get cancer, you are now taking from the pool.
Well,
And so are you guaranteed the same right,
and if
or is there also a duty?
I'm sorry. I'd love to talk for an hour with you. We got a few minutes left here.
When they finally let Kennedy speak, he said, "Are you going to tell me that we're all just going to sit here at this hearing and defend the status quo?"
I would ask, any of the Democrats who were chuckling just now, do you think all that money, the $900 billion that we're sending to Medicaid every year, has made Americans healthy? Do we think it's working for anybody? Are the premiums low enough?
Prices.